לאט להי נגמרו שוב Your vines that blow by board.
Welcome on this beautiful ship. Come on in. Let me take your things. There is a lot of interesting stuff going on here. It is a long journey, but don't worry. We are going to have a really good time. There is dancing in the main hall, a movie showing in the lounge, and drinks are on the deck. You can nibble on some radical new ideas in the kitchen, and you can test out some powerful tools near the pool by yourself or with others. I promise I will give you enough time to disembark on the little islands we stop on our way. I am glad that you came just as you are. This is a journey of leisure. Let me introduce myself. I'm Kate, in my flip-flops, and the tight dress. Just friends hanging out together. Let me tell you a few things about my personal and professional development and why I venture to offer you advice about your life, which you know far better than I ever can. I'm a life coach, a profession that popped up like a mushroom in the last few years of the 20th century. I work with healthy people to help them achieve maximum fitness, that is, well-being and quality of life. I guess that early family experiences have contributed a lot to my decision to become a counselor, though my professional history consists of a variety of experiences in very different fields as a result of what at the moment seemed like coincidences rather than like the product of a conscious plan. No matter how the various experiences in my work life have enriched me professionally and personally, I leave them aside and get to the mature age of 32 when I started my studies in social sciences and then psychology. Crisis had featured as a major theme in my life, associated particularly with the collapse of my fantasy world of security and comfort after my marriage to the wrong man for all the wrong reasons at the age of 24. There was always within me an awareness of pain and distress, a rich inner life, and through studying human psyche, I was searching for answers that would help me cope with the powerful and disturbing feelings I was experiencing. I became involved with counseling. I was a full-time counselor in the addiction field. By then, I had understood a lot about myself and the world. Yet, the discomfort was still there, and this time I experienced it in the form of a dissatisfaction with my home country. I felt everything was wrong here. Everything. Relocating was the solution. What we call economic crisis broke out and was a good excuse for my flee. An excuse only for the others, as I always knew that the reasons for my flee were very personal. I made some desperate efforts to emigrate to Australia, later the UK, to no avail. I took a break, and for a while I gave up, but not for long. I was informed that Thailand is notorious as a medical tourism destination. I carried out a little research, and I found out there are a number of alcohol and drug rehab private centers there. What a relief! This time it was easy. Invisible forces seemed to conspire, and I was given a job as an addiction counselor in a small paradise, an island in Thailand. The beginning was awesome. Living in the jungle, in a luxurious environment, the work was by far full-time and stressful. During my work there, I came across practices I had never heard before. Buddhism, meditation and yoga, even massage as a treatment method. Gratitude encounter groups? I didn't know what all this stuff was about. And to be honest, I thought of them more as superstitions rather than treatment approaches that had nothing to do with science. I was a counselor working from a cognitive behavior approach. Once again, conditions stopped supporting my staying away from home. I had to come back to Greece at a moment that socioeconomic circumstances seemed to be at their worst. I was tired. I was fed up with everything. Coming back was for me the black night of the soul I had to go through before I go out to the light. I was planning it would take only a while before I started looking for a job in some distant place. I went back to my work here. At the same time, I started reading a lot, coming across a broad sweep of scientific and spiritual literature on mysticism and Buddhism, on energy psychology and energy medicine, and quantum physics. I began to get courses on these subjects. I experienced a wonderful sense at this stage of having discovered an Aladdin's cave of new ways of looking at the world. The word that best describes this discovery is ecstasy, a feeling I have been feeling ever since, particularly after I started applying this knowledge. I read and studied subjects which engaged me connected with personal development and change, and gradually found ways of incorporating these into my professional life. I took an accredited course on life coaching in Athens University. Now I am a certified life coach. Out of this learning process emerged a greater understanding of my own background and the ways in which this had influenced my self-identity. As this awareness developed, I found that my studying material and practices offered many insights about my own experiences within my family. It allowed me to see that refusal to accept the values of my family of origin was linked to a refusal to accept the role of scapegoat. Rather than being a sign of madness, as family messages sometimes implied, it was a sign of personal strength and mental stability. Forever seeking change, growth, creativity, and joy, I was perpetually disappointed. In fact, I have almost always listened to my own impulses, paying the price for taking the road least traveled and resisting enculturation. The journey I have described so far has been full of false starts, of doubts and uncertainties, and sometimes despair and disillusionment. At the same time, it has also been marked by a growing sense of competence and by an increasing diversity of interests and creativity. In my search for knowledge, what I really wanted were ideas about how to cope, how to be happy, how to find and fulfill my own purpose. No matter how challenging life got, I always sought the opportunity to evolve, grow, and progress. My experiences through my dark night of the soul, living in the place that I considered the cause of all evil, and my studying about perennial wisdom, but also the essence and ultimately the true nature of reality, a whole new level of awareness became my default setting. And I came to trust implicitly the inner promptings that arouse from a deeper level of knowing beyond my everyday mind, even when I had no idea where they would lead. They remain a guiding force in my life. Consciously working with the alchemy of awakening, intellectual understanding dissolves into living the truth in each and every moment. Today, I can lie on the beach and see an airplane in the sky and not wish I were on it. This is true contentment. Also, I know with absolute certainty that when you begin to find love in people and places you couldn't find before, it's always because you have grown. In response to a combination of inner direction and outer request, a decision arose to spread the message, to tell people what I have learned. It is part of the difference I want to make in the world. Today, I teach what I have learned from all those endless hours of thinking, hurting, reading, hoping, counseling, longing, teaching, and gradually discovering how humans can follow their bliss. I am doing life coaching. Continuing to trust and follow the unfolding dream brings me to this project on your screen, through which it is my intention to invite you. I am here to share what I have learned during my journey to hopefully make yours easier. It is my honor and pleasure that you are here. Enjoy your journey with Beyond Illusion Project.
By board and school with a yay and the sea, where the